Welcome to Set and Forget Traders, where precision meets patience. This isn't guesswork, it's strategy, structure, and the smart money's roadmap. If you're tired of chasing trades, strap in. We'll show you how to trade like the banks, not against them. If the market noise has been costing you money and the peace of mind, you're in the right place. Hit that subscription button. This is where structure meets mastery. So today we are going to look at AUDUSD, and let's get into our analysis for this day. This is the demand chart. We're on the daily time frame, and once we are done with the demand chart, we are going to square into the supply chart to understand what the sellers are up to and what we can anticipate. So the demand chart will represent the Australian dollar, and we're able to know what the Reserve Bank of Australia can regulate the currency. And the supply chart, which is here, allows us to see what the sellers are up to on their side. So let's get into it. Grab your notebook, grab your notepad, and jot down some important nuggets that you will perceive. So on our previous episode, which was week 26, we were able to highlight this order block here. And the most interesting thing is that on Monday of the previous week, last week, the market really pushed higher, and we saw a very huge volume that we never saw in the previous weeks. 1900 points move in price, and it was a very weird week. But as you can see, the buyers aligned their orders to the demand zone, and this demand zone has been used all the previous 3 weeks that the buyers have had a pushing price up. So let's check on the daily time frame, because that's where our order blocks align themselves. And for clarity, so this is Monday last week on the 23rd, and on the week really pushed higher. Right now, where the price is currently, the buyers need to take price into the next demand zone. Okay, the next demand zone is like about 280 points away from the current price, and it seems easy for them to push price into the next demand zone than to come back. And if they do come back, we're going to look at the price above the proximal line, so that we might be able to give buyers a leverage of pushing the price into the next order block. So what you might be looking this week is, if you are looking to sell AUDUSD, it might not be a good catch because buyers have not yet hit the next demand zone. And you might remember they're coming in from the previous demand zone, and now they're pushing price into the next demand zone. So again, we are confirming that our previous analysis of week 25, check the previous analysis on the videos, and you might be able to understand how we could foresee this coming uptrend. But we couldn't foresee it was coming in a week's time, because we have had redistribution for a long while, and now the price has really pierced out on the last week. So let's check on the 4 hours for you to see. There's an important thing that you could have missed from the previous analysis, is that we had a lower time frame demand order blocks. These two of them, we had highlighted them on the previous analysis, 0.6306 and 0.63912. So the buyers had placed their orders at the demand zone, which is proximal line 0.64187, and or proximal line 0.64327, and distal line 0.64187. So they did align themselves at this lower time frame order block, and that's why we had our buy order. We've held it till current price, but let's look at how the price moved since then. Buyers took profit at this order block and price went up. It came again tested. So these buyers, there was a rejection because buyers pushed price back up and then sellers pushed it lower. But as you can see, buyers defended the pivot and price went past the pivot into the next lower time frame demand zone. There was a ranging market at 0.6584, but that didn't stop price because the pivot was supporting price and price ejected out into the next lower time frame demand zone 0.65821. They took some partial profits, allowing price to fall lower and next into the next, and today they pierced above. So if this candle that is currently trading, we're trading currently, if the price comes below, we might be interested to see if buyers, because we know where the buyers are, as you can observe this. Yep, the buyers are aligned at 0.65484 and 0.64868. That's where the buyers are aligning themselves. So we might want to see price pushing below, but on the higher time frame, we're expecting price to come into this demand zone here. Yeah, all these sentiments is allowing price to come into this demand zone. Painful, but they completed their setup. Joyful to the buyers, painful to the sellers. So currently buyers should be at this order block waiting for price back. Yeah, so let's get into the supply chart to see what the sellers are doing. Yeah, on this daily time frame, the next supply zone is aligning itself at, that's the line. Let me just a bit so that we can highlight it for you and you might be able to observe. The yellow zones are where the levels are. Yeah, that's here. Yeah, we have our supply zone here, and we might be looking to see what's going to happen with the sellers. This is the daily candle, all right? So let's observe, let's put a keen eye of what will happen if the price comes into this supply zone. The proximal line of the supply zone is 0.65976 and the dasher line is 0.66423. And if the sellers are going to enter into the market, they need to push price into this next lower time frame supply order block. But the higher time frame supply zone is where the buyers, where the sellers exited, and you can see the buyers have been pushing in, and now they're headed into the next supply zone. So we are keen to observe what will happen at this supply zone and what will the buyers do when they reach this supply zone. So we have an order block here before where the price is, and there's a rejection currently. The sellers might enter here, protecting the supply zone. So let's see what the week will look like. I hope that's clear with your conscience. If you are aligned in AUDUSD, you might be interested to know what's happening. So buyers are in control up to the next demand zone, and sellers are waiting for the buyers to take profit so that they might enter into the market. The demand zone is higher to the supply zone. Let's try and show you what you're trying to mean. So if we put the order blocks at the supply order, if you're looking to sell, we might want to see where our orders will be in layers to the demand zone, and you might see the supply zone is above and below, so the demand zone is inside the supply zone. Okay, the demand zone is inside the supply zone. So this first sell might be overly anticipated, so you might want to keep it here after the buyers have taken their profit. Now you can now sell. Hope that makes sense. Cheers. And before we wrap it up, let's look at the moving average. This is the moving average for the retailers, and this is how it looks. You can see how this week candle, this is the weekly candle, they knew the sellers are anticipating to sell there, and that's why the buyers made their entry. And now, guys, this is the most hard part, because the support is there, but it was broken. You see, it was broken, and now the price came and tipped and wiped off, because they knew the sell stop, they knew the stop loss are aligned here, and now they have pushed up. So until price comes below, we might be interested to sell, but the next institutional order level is here. But the daily time frame looks this way, and the sellers are here just above. They're just here, making it a good sell entry block. Yeah, because the resistance is up here where the price is, and if the buyers are pushing price lower, they might face a rejection here. So this is the trading zone of this week, up here and down here. The 4-hour time frame, the price is looking bullish. Yeah, the price is looking bullish. Even the last rejection happened on the moving average, and the price looks bullish until otherwise. This order block is for institutions and helps us to know what the institutions are planning, and there's a resistance just above our entry block. On the weekly time frame, the price has hit the weekly resistance. Here it is. The price has hit the weekly resistance, and now we anticipate to see what will happen. Will it close above, or will the week close below this resistance? Our sentiments, it will close below. On the daily time frame, we are just seeing no hopes for sellers, but the buyers are in control of the market. Yeah, on the 4-hour time frame too, looks bullish until proven otherwise. Yeah, stay blessed, stay focused, and have a good week. Manage your account well, and in case of any inquiry, just don't hesitate to comment, consult, and inquire from us. Stay blessed, and may God bless you.